Welcome back to the deep dive. We are opening up the source material today, really tearing through the fine print and descending deep into the fascinating foundations of Hazbin Hotel. Today's deep dive focuses specifically on the official script excerpts from the very first episode, Overture.
That's right. And this script, it's not just a pilot episode script, is it? It's practically a lore manual, just, disguised as a musical.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So our mission today really is critical. We've got to rapidly extract the key philosophical nuggets, the narrative predictions locked inside this text.
Right.
We need to understand the sort of constitutional law of heaven and hell, if you will.
Right.
Analyze the motivations driving that core conflict, which is clearly redemption versus, extermination. And try to predict what this episode foreshadows for Charlie Morningstar's incredibly precarious hotel project, like in the immediate future.
Absolutely. And the sources we're looking at here, they're pure narrative, pure dialogue.
Yeah.
Really rich with world building. But what's crucial, I think, is how the musical segments function. They aren't just filler, are they? They feel like these full-throttle ideological battlegrounds.
Oh, completely. They carry so much weight. So if you really want a comprehensive understanding of the, let's say, the high-stakes political and personal foundations of this whole universe, we absolutely have to start with that history lesson. The one Charlie lays out right in the opening moments. It sets the entire stage.
Okay, let's do it. Let's unpack this whole creation story.
Yeah.
Because you're right, it immediately sets the stakes for the entire universe. It's fascinating.
It really is.
The conflict doesn't kick off with just, good versus evil in a simple sense. It starts as this philosophical clash, doesn't it? Between order and maybe change, embodied by heaven and Lucifer.
Exactly. Heaven is introduced as this place of pure light, and its whole deal is valuing and maintaining strict order.
Right. Keep things neat.
Whereas Lucifer, he's framed as the dreamer with fantastical ideas. He's the eternal, the script calls him the troublemaker.
That distinction feels incredibly important.
Yeah.
Heaven didn't just cast Lucifer out because he was, generically evil.
No, not at all. They cast him out because his thinking, his ideas, were deemed dangerous to the order of their world.
Oh, okay. Self-preservation.
Precisely. This whole idea of self-preservation through sticking rigidly to the rules, no matter the moral cost, that really becomes the philosophical underpinning for all the brutality we see later, doesn't it?
It does. Heaven set up creation their way, starting with Adam and Lilith, and the script specifically says they were equals as the first of mankind.
Yeah, equals. But that mandated equality, it was fragile right from the start.
Seems like it. The script tells us Adam pretty quickly demanded control, and Lilith, she refused to submit to his will.
And that refusal, her fleeing the garden, that's what draws Lucifer, and you can see why. They were kindred spirits, weren't they? Two powerful rebels kind of uniting over this shared vision of self-determination.
And together, they shared their greatest magical concept, as the script puts it, with Eve, the fruit of knowledge.
Which is just loaded with symbolism, isn't it? It represents free will, agency.
Yeah.
This is the symbolic crux of the whole narrative, really, the gift of agency. Lucifer and Lilith, they intended it as this revolutionary gift, here, choose for yourself.
But there's always a but.
Always. The script immediately tags it with a consequence. This act of disobedience, it resulted in a curse, and suddenly, evil finally found its way into Earth.
Wow. So that single event, that choice, it just blew a hole through heaven's whole reality, shattered the rigid order they'd set up.
Absolutely. And it gave them the ultimate justification, in their eyes, for Lucifer's eternal punishment.
And what a punishment it was. It feels deeply personal, the way it's described. He wasn't just cast out, locked away in hell. He was psychologically broken.
That's a good way to put it. The script says he was only allowed to see the cruel and wicked outcomes of humanity. Think about that.
Yeah, he never got to see any of the good stuff, any success or joy that might have come from that free will he championed.
Yeah.
Just the bad.
Exactly. This forced negative filter, it led to this profound shame in him. And that shame caused him to lose his will to dream. He just gave up.
And if you look at the implications of that psychological breakdown, it explains so much about how hell is run now, doesn't it?
It really does. Lucifer is completely absent, totally hands-off. He's retreated into his own despair.
Creating this massive power vacuum.
A huge political and emotional vacuum, yeah. And it means the immense burden of his original dream, the one that scared heaven so much it falls entirely onto his daughter, Charlie.
But while Lucifer kind of succumbed to the shame, Lilith, his partner, she flourished. The script is really explicit about this. It says she thrived in hell.
Right.
And crucially, she was empowering demonkind with her voice and her songs.
Right, and that's not just like a poetic phrase. Those songs, they represent the political engine, the cultural influence of the kingdom. She used art, expression to rally the damned, give them identity, give them strength.
So that growth of demonkind, fueled by Lilith's influence, her charisma.
That becomes the direct escalating threat to heaven's order. This pretty much confirms that the whole extermination thing isn't primarily about population control, is it?
No, it sounds more like strategic threat management. Quantifiable.
Exactly. Heaven realized that if the numbers and the power of hell kept growing, especially fueled by Lilith's influence, they could eventually, rise against them.
So the truly heartless decision, as Charlie calls it, the annual extermination, it was strategic defense disguised as moral righteousness.
Perfectly put. A way to perpetually suppress hell's political power and its population momentum. Keep them down.
Which brings us back to Charlie. She's the inheritor of this incredibly complex, broken, but also powerful legacy. She ends that opening monologue promising to make Mom proud. It shows her deep motivation is tied directly to Lilith's dream of a functioning, powerful kingdom.
Yeah, she wants to pick up that mantle, but then we immediately learn this crucial detail, one that really undercuts Charlie's confidence, I think. Lilith has been gone.
And not just gone, but gone for only 7 years.
Only 7 years. Which, in this kind of political landscape, feels like a lifetime, doesn't it?
Especially when the person missing is the one who was the source of hell's collective morale, its political energy.
Absolutely. Her absence is this colossal vulnerability. If Lilith was the one empowering demonkind with her voice, then 7 years of silence. Well, it suggests the spirit of defiance has probably waned quite a bit.
Leaving the kingdom ripe for apathy, disarray, the kind of stuff Charlie's fighting against now.
Exactly. Charlie's current reliance on others, her visible struggle, the hotel's own vulnerability, it all feels directly linked to her mother's significant departure. The power vacuum Lilith left is probably why Charlie feels so desperate to prove herself, prove she can lead.
Okay, so that's the massive cosmological backstory.
Yeah.
Then the script just drops us straight into the messy, dysfunctional reality TV show that is the Hazbin Hotel in the present day.
Yeah, the contrast is jarring, isn't it? Charlie's ultimate vision is so pure, save demons from extermination. But the reality, especially as marketed by Alastair, it's just a masterpiece of dark comedy.
The irony is thick. Alastor, the famous radio demon, literally hijacks the broadcast.
He does.
To paint the Hazbin Hotel as a misguided path to redemption founded by Lucifer's delusional daughter. He's just openly mocking the entire concept of salvation.
He totally is. He's this cynical media expert, right? And he deliberately frames the hotel as something doomed to fail from the start. It's performance art for him.
And his motivation seems crystal clear, which is vital for understanding his position in the whole hierarchy of hell. He admits he hasn't been active in hell for some time.
Laying low.
And he prefers the proper medium of radio. He's got this clear disdain for modern, frivolous television technology.
Old school.
Totally. Yet he's here at the hotel because, in his own words, he loves seeing wasteful souls struggle to accomplish something meaningful and fail spectacularly.
Chilling, isn't it? He views Charlie's genuine, earnest effort as the perfect, long-running spectacle for his personal amusement. He's basically an overlord looking for top-tier dramatic entertainment.
That hierarchy aspect is really important for listeners to grasp, I think. These overlords, they're ancient, they're territorial, they have immense magical power.
Yeah, they rule through force and deals. Alastair's very presence means Charlie is now operating under the constant scrutiny of an extremely dangerous power broker. He is not helping out of the goodness of his heart.
Definitely not. He's investing in a guaranteed source of, what's the word? Schadenfreude.
Exactly. Pure Schadenfreude.
Okay. But let's look at the staff Charlie is actually trying to save.
Right.
They instantly showcase the deep-seated cultural problems she's up against in hell, starting with Angel Dust.
Angel, the famous porn star.
Right. And he immediately offers to use his skills. Suggests a pornographic commercial because, quote, sex sells. This character just instantly embodies the tragicomic resignation Charlie's fighting.
His dark humor, though, it feels like it's masking some real pain, some painful self-awareness.
Oh, yeah. When Charlie tries to protect him from exploitation, he counters with that heartbreaking line. This body was made to be exploited.
Ugh. It's rough. He's internalized his damn status so completely that self-destruction, resignation, it's just part of his routine, his brand, almost.
He's the ultimate existential hurdle for her, isn't he?
Yeah.
How can Charlie convince someone who defines their very existence by their sin that they have innate value, that they deserve something better?
It's a huge challenge. His apathy isn't just casual laziness. It feels deeply, tragically ingrained.
And the power dynamics just keep getting darker when we look at the rest of the crew. Husk, the bartender.
Grumpy old Husk.
It's instantly revealed he's completely under Alastair's thumb, isn't he?
Ah.
When Vaggie asks why Alastair can't just make people stay, Husk just bitterly retorts, "Why do you think I'm here?"
Yeah, and he clarifies he's being forced to be there, forcing him to clean bottles, listen to them complain. It confirms Alastair's operating from a position of absolute power over Husk.
Probably holds his soul, right? That seems to be the current.
Almost certainly. It cements that oppressive nature of the Overlord hierarchy. It's all about deals and ownership.
And then there's Nifty.
Oh, Nifty. Just pure, unadulterated, chaotic energy.
Right. When Husk mentions being forced, she just chirps up, "I like being forced," followed immediately by the completely random stab, stab, stab.
Huh. Yeah, she exists sort of outside the realm of rational motivation, doesn't she? Which further complicates Charlie's efforts. How do you apply traditional redemption theory to someone whose entire existence seems based on just chaotic impulse?
A good question. Amidst all this absurdity, though, Charlie manages to articulate the hotel's core operational philosophy. And it echoes that creation myth we talked about earlier.
What's that?
She says, we can't force sinners to stay here. They need to choose to.
Right. Redemption has to be self-selected. Just like the original sin was, in a way, self-selected. That's the ultimate hurdle, isn't it?
Exactly. And it's probably why Alastair is so fascinated. He knows this requirement for genuine choice makes failure almost certain in a place like hell.
Right. If Lucifer gave humanity the choice to fall, Charlie has to give them the choice to genuinely rise. But the immediate problem is selling that choice, getting people interested.
Which falls to Vaggie. She's the pragmatic one, the determined voice of reason. She's tasked with filming a commercial.
And we see her frustration just mount and mount. Husk won't cooperate. Nifty is, well, nifty.
Yeah, just making noises. Vaggie gets so mad she resorts to frustrated Spanish este pendejo. Her attempt is just a complete, unmitigated disaster.
Which naturally Alastair views as prime entertainment. He literally appears just to revel in her failure, confirming again for the entertainment.
I bet Vaggie, to her credit, finds the one tiny sliver of leverage she has. She challenges him, right? She says watching an empty, dead hotel would actually be very entertaining.
Smart move. The spectacle has to continue. For Alastair to get his kicks, the hotel needs to at least appear operational. It needs residence drama.
Which leads to their deal. And the terms are fascinatingly specific, aren't they?
They really are. Alastair isn't interested in Vaggie's soul or anything like that. Instead, he reveals his deep disdain for modern media again. He agrees to help make an effective commercial only if Vaggie promises never, ever to ask him to engage with frivolous television technology ever again.
It's a deal that basically cements his personal boundaries and his whole old-school overlord superiority complex.
Totally. He demonstrates his power is essential. They need him, while Vaggie has no choice but to accept. She has to put her own personal conflict with Alastair second to Charlie's dream.
Okay, so the staff is now operating under the slightly terrifying shadow of Alastair's forced assistance. But then Charlie gets her big distraction.
Yeah.
A summons. To heaven.
Yeah, the catalyst is this huge adrenaline spike for her. Her dad just called, which is interesting in itself, that Lucifer does communicate sometimes to say the leader of the angel army wants to meet.
And for Charlie, this is it. This is her once-in-a-lifetime chance to achieve diplomatic recognition, maybe even get heaven behind her plan. Huge stakes.
We really see her motivation channeled into her first big musical number, and it's just pure, earnest, almost painfully naive optimism, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. She sings about how she's going to change their minds and touch their hearts.
Yeah.
Or whatever angels have.
Whatever angels have, yeah. It highlights this profound disconnect. She's singing about redeeming people, changing minds.
While the background ensemble, the actual demons, are singing these cynical counterpoints about, like, the endless trash fire smell and their own misery.
Right. The environment of hell itself is actively rejecting her idealism in that song, but she just soldiers on, totally convinced that any soul can change. It's quite something.
Then she actually meets Adam. And the tone just immediately shifts from heartfelt hope to complete arrogant dismissal.
Oh, Adam, yeah. He immediately introduces himself by just celebrating his own ego. He's the original Dick, the self-proclaimed Dick Master.
And is he?
Isn't he? He sees hell as simply oof. And his opening move is this childish prank with an invisible lunch designed purely to disrupt and mock Charlie from the get-go.
Adam's entire persona just seems designed to derail any serious discussion, minimize her. He is clearly not interested in diplomacy.
Not in the slightest. He only wants to talk about himself, right? His rock star status, his sexual conquests. It's all about him.
So when Charlie tries to frame her plan as a solution to his problem, appealing to him as a big thinker, a revolutionary, a genius, she's trying to use his own narcissistic language to win him over.
Smart tactic, playing to the ego.
Yeah.
He accepts the flattery, sure, but he completely rejects the core premise of her idea.
Yeah, Charlie frames the hotel as the ultimate solution to our biggest problem, overpopulation in hell.
And Adam just immediately shoots it down. He cites the annual kill count. Luke killed 275 demons this year alone as proof the problem is already covered, sorted.
For him, the extermination is already an effective zero-effort solution. Why fix what isn't broken, from his perspective?
Exactly. It's the definitive status quo justification. Adam represents this divine bureaucracy that just rejects any kind of innovative solution because the current brutal solution works perfectly fine for them.
And then Lute, Adam's second in command, delivers this really critical political blow, doesn't she?
Oh yeah, that line hits hard. She says, the only reason you're still here is because Daddy gave you and your hellborn kind a pardon from an exorcist blade.
Oof. That line is just heavy with political meaning. It confirms the hierarchy, right? Charlie is hellborn kind, a native-born demon. Her existence is only protected because her father is a fallen angel and the king of hell.
Exactly. Lute is basically implying Charlie lacks any true power or authority beyond her protected birthright. She's reducing Charlie's whole diplomatic mission to nothing more than privileged nepotism.
It's a real political emasculation right before the big ideological clash.
It sets the stage perfectly for that second central musical debate. And again, they're not just singing catchy tunes, they are laying out the fundamental constitutional laws of their universe.
So Charlie argues, if they rehab the sinners, the angels can wave that chore farewell. Appealing to efficiency. Because any soul can change. She's hitting both efficiency and fundamental morality, the idea that transformation is possible.
And Adam counters with the definitive doctrine of heaven, delivered in this arrogant, irreverent rock and roll style that's such a sharp contrast to Charlie's earnest pop sound.
Yeah, his song is basically saying the rules are black and white, sinners don't necessarily deserve death, but fair is fair, an eye for an eye, there's no defying their fates. Hell is forever. They had their chance on Earth and blew it.
And then we get that truly shocking thematic revelation, the one that connects right back to Alastair's motivation for watching the hotel.
Which one?
Adam confirms that for those with divine ordainment, meaning the angels and the first man himself, extermination is entertainment.
Wow. Yeah. Extermination is entertainment. That single line just defines the whole motivational clash, doesn't it?
Completely. Charlie is seeking salvation for souls. Adam is seeking spectacle and sport. The cosmic purge isn't some heavy-hearted duty for them. It's a source of pleasure, a show.
This fundamentally separates their ideologies. And it kind of proves that Charlie's diplomatic mission was probably doomed from the start, didn't it? Adam's interest lies in maintaining the brutal status quo precisely because it's entertaining for him.
Exactly. There was no common ground to be found.
So the meeting wasn't ever really about dialogue, was it? It was just a stage for Adam to deliver an edict. And he drops his massive bombshell right at the close of their musical debate, showing just complete lack of respect for Charlie's time or feelings.
That's right. He uses the final moments of the song almost as an afterthought to reveal heaven has already made a determination. They're moving up the next extermination. Not in a year.
But in 6 months.
6 months. Which immediately creates this terrifying, non-negotiable ticking clock for Charlie. She failed utterly to change their minds, and now the threat hasn't just stayed the same, it's been magnified and accelerated.
So Charlie rushes back to the hotel, obviously devastated, desperate to deliver this awful news.
Only to find the staff all gathered around the TV, excitedly watching their newly created, actually effective commercial about to air. Like a tiny, brief moment of hope for the hotel project.
And then, bam.
Yeah.
Narrative irony at its finest.
Oh, yeah. The commercial gets instantly overridden by the breaking news bulletin from the Heaven Embassy, confirming the shortened timeline.
And Angel Dust's final cynical comment in that scene, we are all royally fucked. It's just the perfect, definitive summary of Charlie's diplomatic failure and the brutal new reality for everyone at the hotel.
The pressure cooker is well and truly sealed at that point.
But wait, the immediate crisis gets compounded, doesn't it? By that final scene. a hidden detail that Charlie isn't privy to, which reveals the true underlying reason for the accelerated extermination.
Yes. This detail is the ultimate game changer, and it explains the true level of celestial rage that's brewing. Lute confirms to Adam quietly.
We found the body, sir. They've never managed to kill one of us before.
Bingo. An angel has been killed. This isn't about routine population management anymore. This is about unprecedented retaliation.
They've broken a fundamental, maybe unspoken rule of engagement, haven't they? The cyclical purge, however brutal, it was predictable, scheduled, impersonal almost.
Right. But the death of an angel, one of the divinely ordained beings, that's an act that fundamentally violates the cosmic law. The order heaven is obsessed with preserving. The very order Lucifer and Lilith first disrupted.
Exactly. And Lute, she argues for immediate revenge, doesn't she? Demands they go down there now and destroy them. Pure rage.
But Adam, interestingly, shows this flash of strategic cunning that really contrasts with his earlier buffoonery. He opts to wait the 6 months, specifically so hell doesn't catch on to the real reason for the early date.
So it's not just moving the date up. It's a calculated, coordinated response being planned in secret. The next extermination isn't going to be just a harvest.
No, it's going to be a targeted war, motivated by revenge.
Okay, so based purely on the source text, what are the immediate implications of this angel death? What does that 6-month deadline mean now?
It means the entire narrative has shifted fundamentally. It's gone from a scheduled purge based on, heavenly policy and population control to a focused existential revenge mission.
Heaven's acting from a different place now.
Completely. Anger, fear, maybe even vulnerability, rather than just detached superiority. That 6-month deadline is now absolutely non-negotiable, and you've got to assume it's going to be far more brutal, far less forgiving than previous exterminations.
And they don't even know who killed the angel, right? That adds another layer.
Exactly. It creates this element of paranoia, which will likely fuel the angel's aggression even further. Everyone in hell is potentially suspect.
So Charlie's earnest diplomatic road has failed spectacularly, just completely crashed and burned.
Yep.
And now she has just 6 months to figure out how to survive an existential threat that's motivated by the highest possible form of celestial outrage. A vulnerability that even her father, Lucifer, never managed to inflict on heaven.
It's an immense weight. She essentially has to achieve in 6 months what her powerful mother, Lilith, couldn't achieve in millennia. Actual security for hell, or at least for her corner of it.
Her failure in that meeting, combined with this extreme escalation, the angel death, the shortened timeline, it sets up the inevitable confrontation just perfectly, doesn't it?
Flawlessly. The hotel is no longer just some idealistic passion project. It's suddenly the final, desperate shelter against targeted, overwhelming violence.
And the pressure is immense, and the staff are, well, by all accounts, pretty ill-equipped and deeply dysfunctional.
It's the perfect storm, really.
It really is the perfect chaotic structure for a story. You've got Lucifer's foundational concept of free will colliding head-on with heaven's absolute demand for order, all fueled by Lilith's powerful legacy, Alastor's cynical, dark humor providing commentary.
Triggered by Adam's unbelievable arrogance.
And most importantly, that angel killing. Every single element of the lore established in just this one script has converged to put maximum immediate pressure on Charlie's dream right now.
It's incredibly tight plotting. So, just to summarize the key thematic foundations we've pulled out of Overture, you've got that historical opposition of order versus free will.
Right, the big picture.
Then the policy debate, punishment versus redemption.
The hotel's core mission.
And finally, that motivational clash, entertainment versus salvation. What drives heaven versus what drives Charlie?
Those three oppositional forces really define the universal struggle Charlie's undertaking, don't they?
They absolutely do. And the next 6 months are going to be the ultimate test of where those poles meet and which force wins out.
Okay, and that brings us to the final provocative thought, something for you, the listener, to carry forward and chew on.
All right, let's hear it.
Remember that Lucifer was originally cast out because heaven feared his ideas, his dreams were dangerous to the order of their world.
Right. The core reason.
So what happens if, through Charlie's efforts at the hotel, she actually succeeds? If she achieves even one small, genuine act of redemption? The moment a single soul actually proves redeemable and theoretically leaves hell for heaven.
Whoa.
She hasn't just salvaged a soul. She has validated her father's original dangerous dream. and she has completely broken heaven's carefully defined, rigid order.
That's a really potent point. If the death of a single angel causes heaven to accelerate extermination for immediate, brutal revenge, what will the successful redemption of a demon, the ultimate proof that their sacred black and white rules are actually false, cause them to do?
How will heaven react to a breach of their defined order that proves the very power they feared in Lucifer is still alive and kicking in his daughter?
That reaction will define the true war to come, won't it? Beyond just extermination.
A truly compelling question to mull over as we await the inevitable escalating conflict. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the dense lore and ideology of Hazbin Hotel's first outing.
Always a pleasure. Lots to unpack there.
Definitely.
We'll catch you next time.